All right, guys, Dokkan time. This is going to be a really quick how to build. This is going to be a how to build for the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Berserk controlled Vegeta. I like this unit a lot. Like, I think he's cool. He's got a great art. He's got great SSR art. He's got great TUR art. He looks good in theory. The only unfortunate thing is, like, after all my testing I've done in the last almost week, actually, he's just kind of okay. As you can see, I already have it kind of ticked over here on the hidden potential box. Usually, I kind of drown it out and let you know, all their abilities and such. Well, I mean, he's got built-in crit. He's got a lot of built-in crit, and there's just no reason to put crit in him. Crit does nothing for him. He already has crit. He's got 30% innately chance to crit, so 30%, that's already more than a 15 hidden potential crit is going to give you anyways. Not to mention, he gets a 50% chance to crit when you're facing one enemy, which is going to be the majority of the time of any difficult fight that you take him into, He does also have launch an additional super attack and high chance of evading an attack when there's 2 or more enemies, which is great because that's what you want. If you're fighting multiple enemies, you obviously want to attack multiple of them. You obviously want more dodge chance because you can't keep track of all of them. So in that case, not also to mention that he really needs to build up with additionals, and that's going to be his build. His build is full additional and then dodge. This is not a unit that you're going to bring into like Merge Zamasu. You're not going to bring him into Corrupted Merge Zamasu. You're not going to take him into Dismal Future Red Zone. You can try, by all means. If RNGesus is on your side and you get double supers every turn and he dodges every single attack up until he's fully built up and post super, then yeah, he'll be fine. But unfortunately, he just takes way too long to build up. It's kind of weird. He needed the kind of buildup that the corrupted Janemba has, and he just doesn't. I mean, I wish he was a lot better. He just, when he's fully built up, he feels good. He feels really good. He can hit a decent attack number. His defense can be very survivable, at least for normals and select bosses supers. But, I mean, unfortunately, no matter what you do for this Vegeta, he's probably not going to excel in the way you want him to. I would highly suggest this build no matter what you're going to take him into. Like I said, full additional. He already has built-in crit. So I mean, there's no real reason to go over that. So let me explain further with Halvard's stats. Appreciate you again, dude. Start a turn defense 200 on a full heroes rotation, which I'd like to mind you that the heroes rotation doesn't actually matter much. I mean, it does a little bit. He does get an additional attack and defense plus 50% and a chance of performing critical hit plus 10% per Dragon Ball Heroes categories ally. Self-excluded attacking in the same turn. So I honestly couldn't tell you if this counts towards that. If it does, I mean, it doesn't feel like it. If he does get attack 100% and defense 100% for having 2 other heroes allies on the turn, I don't feel it. I really don't. The 10% right here, as I said before, there's almost no... I don't understand why there's so much crit. There's crit here. There's crit here. There's crit here. He's got so much crit, he's basically got a 100% chance to crit if you're fighting one enemy on a full heroes team. So my assumption is, yes, he does get 100% support defense on a full heroes rotation, which would explain a lot. And fully built up, once he double supers, he can hit 800k defense. And if you're fighting more than 2 enemies and you triple super, he can hit 990. And of course, with support, you can hit about 1,000,000 defense. But that's when you're fighting multiple enemies. Most of the time when you're not fighting multiple enemies, I have this guy with 25 additional. So either I'm just dirt, I have just the worst RNG with this guy out of like 10 plus runs into difficult content. Or, I mean, his additionals just don't go off reliably. I would average out on just 1 super. Maybe, like, take into consideration of full heroes rotation with 50 or 40% support on the side. He'll probably be rocking around the 500k range of defense on average. Fully built up, probably around 700k, probably 600 to 700k defense. That defense is good enough for pre-worldwide download celebration, pre-meta change this year. But I would have to say that he's just not defensively inclined enough to be able to survive in the harder content of the game. You can definitely take him into a whole bunch of different kind of like you can take him into a bunch of other stuff. I will say that you can take him into ESBR and he should thrash. He should thrash the content in all of that. The other thing to keep in mind is of his typings and so forth. Like for easy A stages, you could go into a bunch of those that have any of the categories he has and go through those. And of course, any other part of the game that might help you out. But I mean, I guess he's helping Vegeta family a little bit. I mean, he's got prodigies, royal lineage, Saiyan pride. They're not terrible links, they're not amazing links, but I mean, he's on siblings bond, which does need a little bit of help. Gifted warriors is okay. I wouldn't say he's really on any categories that needed help. Maybe except for miraculous awakening, perhaps. That would be a category that may or may not need a little bit of help, perhaps. Maybe worthy rivals. You know, I'm trying to give him like the benefit of the doubt. If you put him next to this super transforming Vegeta right here, he might start looking pretty decent once you get all of his links off, you know, and you have him, you know, you have a support on the rotation. I think as the game goes on and as the year goes on, when we get more supportive units that are supporting off rotation, this guy's going to start looking a lot better around that point. But as of right now, even with full additional built up, he's just not building up fast enough. Because the thing is he gets attack and defense plus 40% for super attack perform. Now, ideally, if like you would ideally want him to at least double super on the first turn that he pops up. Ideally, you would want that, because trust me when I say, if you don't double super beforehand, your defense is not hitting 500, and most of the difficult fights in the game are normaling for 500 now. So he can just get caught, and it really hurts. It really hurts. But yeah, he doesn't need crit. He doesn't need crit. He's got plenty of crit. It's just a full additional and then dodge build. This is one of those times where I'd say if you put dodge into him, you're actually hurting him more, because he definitely wants that additional immediately, and he wants those defense raises because he absolutely needs all of that. So anyways, guys, I hope that helped you figure out how you wanted to build him, and I hope you have a good day and good